I'm wanted dead or alive. What happened? This is the vlog. Vlog 17 of session 17. Lots of shit happened. Let's go.
I think the biggest lesson that we've learned is if Tyrion had just decided to jump on the tumble romance,
I
he would have had
know.
an he would have had enough bonus to make
Uh-huh.
the willpower save roll.
Yeah.
If he
Well,
had just
actually,
gone
no,
for
he
the
still would
romance.
have been one under.
No, I
But
would've
if he
done
had put a point in willpower and then gone tumble,
And gotten the tumble romance, there you go.
there you
So
go.
yeah, I just want to for people who are maybe I don't know if people are angry or not about like a specific like viewers or whatever. I did this randomly,
Yeah.
and I wanted as a player to do imprison or cap or like tranquil
Hmm.
him. But in the heat of the moment, the most natural course when he is alone in a bathtub with a man that
Yes.
you've hated for decades, two
Right
decades.
after he's basically displayed your tranquilized father right in front of you like a war
Yeah.
trophy.
Yeah. That was the most. That was. I just took fate. I just said fate. What is it going to be? And now I just fucked the winter. So you're welcome, Guardians. I just fucked
I
everything
mean,
up.
Yeah.
I was, to be fair, he was pushing a lot of buttons.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So you can thank me for reuniting with your dad,
Yeah.
right?
Thank
You
you,
can
Hark.
thank.
Thank you,
It's like
Hark.
punch those buttons.
And now
I
I
will
got.
also
Now I got.
say to those who point out, Daretham gave him the murder weapon. Yeah, but he was naked in a bathtub. He could have just shoved his face down and also strangled him and drowned him to death, which frankly might have been better because that's a slightly more natural death. So,
Yeah, but
Well,
yeah.
he could have just dipped the dagger into the water because it was a
I did
tank
that. I
dagger.
did that. I did that. I used a sponge. To clean the water, I just put a sponge into the
Well, no,
water.
I'm saying like you didn't even have to stab him. You could have just like dipped the dagger in the water, then
Yeah.
the taint would have
Yeah.
killed
I
him.
been a
could have. I
slow,
could, but that would be more weirder. Or
slow and painful death.
Yeah.
And then he could have infected the other people in the coup during the
Yeah.
party.
Ooh.
fuck, I could have, but well, it's
He
But-
might still turn at the party.
look. What's done is
They're
done.
not having it anymore.
We're
Yeah.
what's done. Then now my worry is as a character, not a player. Player, it's gonna be fine. As a character is more okay. How will the rest of the party now see to this? Because pretty much Tyrion, not necessarily lied. He changed his intentions, even though not willingly, so to speak.
Yep. I mean, I know Daretham's reaction. Everyone hears it. I'm not mad. Just fucking disappointed, man.
Yeah, I will say Tyrion actually killing Amerin was more natural because when Daretham was having his talk with Tyrion, I was like, it feels like Tyrion's just saying what Daretham wants to hear.
Yeah.
He's not really convinced. And then he went and did it, and then it finally hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's the first human kill of the party. Woo!
Murdered human.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whatever
Wow.
murder- This is the one who did was of course Tyrion, the doctor, the man who said he was gonna.
I'm surprised that Daretham's kept his hands clean so far. At least since he's joined.
I think it's. I feel like it's a for a story narratively, it does make it way more interesting. That
Oh yeah.
Calpurnia's plans to end slavery is not, tied up in a beautiful bow, and
Yeah.
that it was Tyrion who sort of is throwing a monkey wrench into that whole thing.
So I would be willing, as both player and a Tyrion, to go up to the Orc and say, "Well, here I am. If you want me to help out, then end me or something." I'm willing to do that because if it can at least, it's not going to repair what happened, but if it can at least help out something.
Well,
Show the
isn't-
magisters that the slaves will also be punished for just crimes.
They'll be accountable for their actions, just like the magisters have to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Well, isn't
So
Calpurnius personally very strong? And what they can do is clear out people who dissent, and redistribute the power so that it consolidates more of their base. And since they're wealthy lords, they could use that money to bribe the other lords, or the power to help, have a reverse coup, so to speak, a consolidation of power. maybe it'll be a little bit more bloody, but it's what most monarchs and most leaders do. Is after they come to power, they consolidate their base. They remove dissenters, and this is a perfect example because there's going to be maybe a violent coup, so it'd be a good time to be like,
Yeah.
oh, time to put down dissenters, time to reorganize, time to
Well,
re-elect. Well,
if Calpurnian people find evidence of a coup, then it's like, oh, okay, well then, not that bad.
Yeah, because like what Tyrion did essentially was just pretty much him destroying the ringleader, so he kind of helped. Not the best help, but still.
Yeah, or at least the host of the
Yeah, the
conspirators.
host.
At the
Well, he
same
was evil.
time, though, if they don't find any evidence of a coup, then it's pretty much Tyrion's done nothing but exacerbate the problem.
Yep.
And that is why I suggest, like as I said, as Tyrion said, and the reason I don't know if this will happen because of the next session what we have planned, but he's willing to go to the Archon, like, hey, here I am. If you believe there's a punishment for what I've done, for the crime, this crime that I did, then here. And then he would walk in like chest naked to show like his marks and his scars.
Yeah, that
But,
was
like,
a
that's
dope
a-
moment. Oh, so while Tommy's here, Pasha Rousseau.
Okay. Do you want to say your thoughts on that first, Callista? Because mine's pretty brief.
I don't. I had thoughts earlier and now I've forgotten them. I think my main thing was that I wasn't sure how angry Russo was going to be. And I was just like, as a player, I was just like, please don't turn into an argument. Please don't turn into an argument. I don't want to argue. I like how it turned out. I think it was kind of moving. I feel, maybe. I don't know.
That scale's leaning a little.
Did you as a player appreciate the different angle that Russo took to talking about the Qun versus everyone else?
I did. I really did, because we've seen Dertham and Tyrion come at it from a very logical perspective.
Mhm.
And then ironically, both Leon and Russo used kind of more emotional perspective. And that Pasha just seems to respond better to that. She responds better to an emotional, like, I feel X, Y, and Z, rather than use your logic.
Yeah.
So for me, I wasn't intending Russo to be ultra emotional in how he pitched his argument. That was more or less like the repercussion he wanted to have, though. Like, think about the emotional outcome of what you're doing because of the logical choice you've made, was how I saw him teetering that.
I thought that Pasha's, the wistfulness of what could have been. I really liked that sort of thought. Like, I could have been the best ruler. I could have changed the Qun for the better. We are a people who have not grown. Our rules are old. I like the wistfulness, because originally and previously to what you've said, she does not seek out power, but she will do as the Qun asks.
That's pretty much Pasha. I think it's because Pasha has very simple wants and desires. She just wants to raise children. That's pretty much it. And so the idea of like, okay, we're going to take you away from your kids and we're going to put a crown on you and you're going to go do government stuff. She'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to raise my babies. But she's still very much just, if this is the demand of the Qun, I'm going to do it. And I think on some level she is kind of like, I could make things better for those kids. I may not be raising them personally, but I could make things better. And now I'm in a position where even if I go back and I do end up becoming the Arakune, those thoughts and feelings I have won't exist. So, basically.
I also enjoy how Russo is talking and debating about the Qun, because he had the option, at least when he was younger, to enter the Qun, and he's visually half Qun, and the way he talks about the rules, and also the way he props up the party and the ideological. I also like how he slightly blamed Pasha. Like, this is not their life. Though you will do as the Qun asks of you. What if you didn't? There's going to be another person to take care of those kids.
The biggest thing with Russo was he was tired of whenever he's observed Pasha talk about the Qun, she's talked about it as like an absolute above over everything. And then guilting Tyrion about, well, you're causing my re-education. Russo wanted to be like, no, at the end of the day, that's a cultural thing, and you're choosing to submit to that.
That was pretty good. Yeah, the whole guilty, like, yeah, you can't guilt anyone because it's our culture. So yeah.
And then he also wasn't really happy with Tyrion either in that situation, which is pretty on par for how when he left the argument that they had in the last session. It's pretty much like Tyrion doesn't really know structure, so he can't really like argue and debate because he's unknowingly like part of a system while being like, yeah, man, screw the man.
Yeah. And I guess I screwed them in big time. But anyway, Daretham and Tyrion, and we had that little chat. That was pretty good. I liked it. It really
Because
sort of
it was also two different chats at the same time. It was one about the whole man thing, but the other about what he did with Pasha.
Yeah, and it's I think he did a good job, because I mean Tyrion wasn't like going to be uncivil about it.
Yeah.
And while I think he still does believe in the whole idea of that, I think he understands the point of view that Daretham was trying to say is just, I don't know how much will change. He won't be a burn to the group, but I think those beliefs were still with him up to the point.
Yeah, the thing that Daretham was basically trying to impart was just a sense of less extremism, just like being willing to hear someone out and consider that you could be wrong.
Yeah.
So that's Daretham's whole thing. Daretham's whole thing is just trying and not knowing if it's right or not, but just trying because it's what he feels is right.
And well, I love the foreshadowing of like, well, you're also selfish.
Yeah.
And well, look what happened. It ended up that Tyrion, it seems that he is to a certain degree.
That was one of my favorite things where Daretham just said, like, you're selfishly being selfless. Like, that's what you want to do. If you didn't want to be selfless, then sure, you're not. But you want to be selfless. You want to serve others. You want to do these things. That is a selfish desire. It's a good one, but it's still one.
Yeah, and well, it seems there's other selfish desires also. It seems.
Yep.
So.
And Amerin has rubbed off on you because you still want to serve. It's just under your own terms.
Yeah.
That's what Daretham was saying. Was like, I was a slave to my past, much like you are to yours. It's only now that I've been able to break free, and something you got to do too.
Yeah, and well, yeah, but I'll talk more about like when we get to the point where we need to talk about what happened after the aftermath.
Oh, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
What was Tyrion's thoughts when Daretham said, "Wouldn't it be the greatest insult to not even be affected by a Marin, just to say I don't care about you"?
I that was like in my mind as a player, it was like brilliant idea, love it, because it makes so much sense. It like Amarin just cares. As we know, he has that obsession on him, and it's like I don't care about you. But the thing is, I look at it as like, would he even care if I said that? I liked the idea. I just didn't know it would work out with Amarin. Even though the direction it took with Tyrion, not sorry, forcibly chosen, but that was willed. Yeah,
So
that was.
Small question for Hark. Did we avoid the combat encounter at Marin's mansion, considering it was an actual map displayed?
You did. Yeah, you did.
Okay, yeah, figured.
Because I wasn't sure if I wasn't sure if you were going to attack him before the party. I wasn't sure if you were going to attack him during the party. I wasn't sure. So I just had the map there just in case a fight did break out.
Yeah.
So I was prepared. But I think the way that Tyrion did it, again, was a very good for the story. It was a good narrative.
Definitely.
Story-wise, I would probably say everyone likes it, but for the world itself, what's going to happen to Winter?
Yeah.
Even to him, he knows he just fucked up the biggest plan, and he would have been able to, like, done it the lawful way. But the narrative direction, the way how in that bat was set up.
Well, the positive thing was the one positive thing is it looked like Darren's part of this was clean.
Yeah.
So, because you could have definitely done something that would have made that a heck of a lot messier for her.
Like if he attacked the Marin almost immediately after. But since it was long enough that it was just Tyrion, a shout escape that showed it was Tyrion and everything, it's obvious that like it was a Marin's fault that he let this escaped slave be so close to him.
Yeah. So it's and that's why for Tyrion he's just put a target on his back, a pretty large ass target. What he's hoping for is a more I am willing to come and hell, not necessarily go to trial, but accept punishment. If that's what necessary, as long as whatever happened in that night was only for my own selfish reasons. That's what I hope. But like I said, that's if it happens, if we have time, and also if we're even able to, because you have to get me to the Archon, and that's not easy.
Yeah. Also, I want to say it's interesting that at the end of the day, Darren's story ended with doing the lawful thing and getting out, and basically getting out scot-free by following the laws. And Tyrion's story ended by getting more in trouble by murdering someone through freedom.
Yeah.
Which is a really interesting parallel.
Yeah.
I feel like it got very poetically set up because everyone's parroted to one another that going and getting your revenge is the short-term high. That's all you really get out of it, and then it's going to cause more problems. So,
Daretham, Pasha, everyone.
So poetically, the party set Tyrion up to be like, this is just you. We've gotten what's important. It's up to you at the end of the day, and Tyrion was ultimately too weak.
He was, and I'm not gonna deny it. He was too weak to control his emotions, and I think that sort of shows his character a little bit more. He's a much more emotional person, and that's not because of what happened to Mo. It's just the overtime, long years, and that under Amron, the moment that his dad was tranquiled. And I mean, look, to be honest, I actually thought if I would have met my dad, I would have done something differently if I met him if he was still. But now he's tranquiled, and the freaking Amron was saying that kind of crap. It's like, you just took freedom from my own father. This is what you deserve. And right now, what I'm worried is the backlash from the previous season characters, like the Guardian. Yeah. I am gonna get lots of
Andrea's advice, cut.
Oh, Andrea. Yeah, but it is. I am interested to see the moment where he's in front of the Guardians, and he's like, I couldn't control my will. And
can we get a confessional from all the Guardians in this session where they just all react to the death individually, and they're just like,
only if everyone also sends a confessional reacting to Pasha flirting with Amira. Including Pasha. I will, including Pasha needs to give me a confessional. Yes. Also, yeah, go ahead.
There was many questions, Pasha. Are you sure you want to get in bed with Hammerin?
Hey, she didn't need to get in bed with him. She just needed to,
distract.
I had plans. If it progressed that far, I had plans.
Yeah.
If we're talking about corruption from blood mages, I mean, your character much closer than that, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could get him alone and stab.
Well, I guess I cleaned that up.
It's just a shame because I was so looking forward to Amarin continuing to get Leon's name wrong, because it was getting to the point where I was just gonna have him name. I was starting to give up on traditional names, or have him just be like, "Oh, hey Lycra," or "Hey Lithuania," or like.
I'm sorry, Hark, for ending that fun.
It's okay.
As long as it was,
It was fun while it
good.
lasted.
Yeah.
I think
I
my
still
favorite
wanted-
was.
Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I think my favorite name was Lorax. When I
Well,
called
actually,
it.
that's good.
You're like what Sam?
I still wanted to get into his secret blood mage vault, so I could see what other.
Yeah.
secret books he has.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, I
That's
stopped
we
being
don't get that anymore. We
We don't
got the Grimoire though. Got the Grimoire.
Oh,
You
hell,
got the
you got
Grimoire,
the
though.
Grimoire.
Yeah.
Which is like,
Brilliant move, by the way, Callista. Brilliant move.
Really good move.
I'm so happy I've been hoarding those paint bombs.
Yeah, I was
I'll
wondering.
save these for a really important thing.
was
Inflammatory
perfect.
mark sounds important.
That was
Yep.
so perfect. Between that and the sashaying, that was like my favorite scene.
Yeah.
My favorite scene.
And the dice were just like, I approve of the risk. You take the
Yes.
risk, I approve of the risk.
I also love the little bit where it's like, let me just talk to Leon. Look, man, you gotta get him real cute and be like, please let me stay for the party.
Yes, I love that shit.
yeah.
Pwee.
Fucking Bostwick showing up.
Yeah.
Bostwick.
Frick Narika of all this time. We're just like, what?
Before you saw, well, before anyone, including Tommy, saw the comment from Champion, did anyone suspect Bostwick?
I didn't even
Was
see the
Narika-
comment, so I was blindsided by
I
that.
was blindsided, yeah,
Okay.
same.
Yeah, I recorded a scene with so I have to explain something. I recorded a scene again with Andrea where she first runs into Bostwick as Narika, and so she's interacting with Narika, and then Narika reveals himself as Bostwick, and then they continue the conversation. So what you saw before was the second half of the conversation. Everything prior to that conversation was with Narika. The problem is, I recently started cleaning out and deleting a whole bunch of files that I thought I didn't need anymore to make room on my machine, because I was about to start playing Cyberpunk 2077 and I needed a lot of room. And I accidentally deleted all of the reunion videos because I thought I didn't need them anymore. So I lost the original video with the reveal. So I actually had Kim re-record it again with me earlier. So when this video gets posted, because I'm gonna add that in, that's why there seems to be a little bit of a discontinuity, because we had to redo that whole thing. And I felt bad because the first time we re-recorded it, my recording was corrupted, and we did like a good 10 or 15 minutes of role playing, so we had to do it again a third time. So, but yeah.
So I will say, I did have theories about Narika. I never thought Bostwick, because I didn't know that was a thing in Dragon Age where you could appear as the opposite, like, sex.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so Bostwick, it has been known that Bostwick is very good at glamour and disguising himself, because he spent, spoiler warning, he was a character in the Pokemon campaign where he actually glamoured himself up. He glamoured himself up as a hobo, as a homeless person in the Pokemon campaign, and during the crossover went to Thetis. That's how Bostwick went back to Thetis.
So he
Was
got
during the
stranded in the Pokemon world and found his way back.
Found his way back to the crossover. So the hobo, because when Tyrion escapes, he runs into this guy with like the rat.
Oh, that's Ostwick. Oh, no, doesn't.
The image that I used was the exact same image of his character in the Pokemon campaign. So anyone who saw the Pokemon campaign would have known right away, oh, that was Bostwick.
That was Bostwick.
Gotcha. Which probably how Champion knew, because they made that connection.
That's probably also how Champion knew, because maybe they made that connection.
Well, if
So
there's
I
one
put
in
a lot of hints.
the Pokemon campaign, I was totally shocked.
I'll be honest, at first I thought that was foreshadowing of the HP crossover because of the wand.
Yeah.
And I was
Wand,
like, oh, wait, there's wands in Dragon Age, never mind.
Yeah, there's one in Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Well, Connor uses a wand. That's how,
Yeah,
how
exactly.
he casts his
Unused
magic.
wand, yeah. So
I will also specify, in case anyone's wondering, because maybe somebody's thinking. So Narika shares a wagon with Pasha. So Narika was, I feel like Pasha maybe might have noticed this, but never gave it too much thought. But Narika was never around whenever Pasha changes or does anything private. She was a gentleman and was never in the room if Pasha was changing or doing anything similar to that.
yeah.
So, just as an FYI.
Also,
wouldn't
I
pick it up.
totally want to see Pasha's face when she realizes the entire time she was talking with a previous Tevinter Magister.
Yes, there's that.
Pasha just crying, just why? Interacting with
You
magic.
were my favorite tea friend. How could you do this?
That was why I was also giggling when Pasha was soft trying to fix up Russo with Narika.
Yeah,
because
I'm glad that didn't
because
happen.
Bostwick is a straight man. I've determined that he is a straight man. So if she
Okay.
tried to, Narika would have been like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but you're not my type." Like that would have
Yeah.
been very funny. I
Narc
think.
could have been like, "Oh, I'm actually, I actually like the other type." If you had like play
I like
off
the other-
this,
Just, okay. Yeah. But yeah, the whole reason why Violetta spoke with Bostwick or spoke with Narika was because she was informing, just so you know, I'm going on this date, and as Bostwick, pretty much Narika gave the blessing. Not that she needed the blessing, but she just felt like she would tell him.
yeah.
So
I mean,
that's
it
why.
was right there. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So I actually I don't know if you guys want to make a little bit of fun. There's like a fun skit. So I was in some moments I was drawing Amron's face, so I could like sort of show like, all right, this is what I did for the wood cutting scene where I was like cutting the tree with Amron's face, and here's the final.
Nice.
Oh no.
That's a hard. We'll use it.
That is such a horrible face to look at.
So-
It is a poor drawing.
Yeah. So can I just say really quick, I'm loving the second half versions of everyone's characters.
The second half version.
Yeah, like when we talked about like session 11, how we all thought we were going to be for the second half of the campaign, I feel like it's really become a natural progression for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. It's
I am-
really cool how it's all developed.
Yeah. I'm actually worried for Tyrion, to be honest, as a player, because the problem is like, all right, how will everyone now view him? He just committed a heinous crime.
Dark Tyrion. Dark Tyrion and
Dark
Dark Leon.
Yes.
I love the
Off into
fact
the
that the
sunset.
two like innocent young kids are the ones who turned out so dark, and the three older fucked up like traumatized guys were the ones who turned out better.
I mean, Tyrion isn't, because like everyone was joking about it. I still love the joke where I was telling Amron, I mean, you could have a date on the Acropolis. I still, as much as I hate that joke, what happened there, it's like, you know what, F it, let's use it.
Yeah, I was about to type that in too.
I mean, you very much did give him a date with death, so like,
Yeah, now he can go to the necropolis. Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think I just saved his life pretty much, because otherwise he would have been thrown in prison or tranquility or some other worse.
Oh, there you
Right.
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally justified.
Hey.
Okay,
Totally
Leon,
justified.
David.
I'm sure Russo the lawyer would agree with you.
Yep, right, that's how murder works.
David Faust. He was gonna die anyway. I was doing the right thing.
Yep.
Speaking of the House of Faust, the closet scene with Leon.
Yes.
Well, Leon was still in the closet.
Oh yes, as you do. That
As you
closet's
do.
surprisingly spacious, you know.
Yeah, you were able to make a whole log cabin in there.
Yeah.
So
At some point.
As
now
soon as
is-
you said a kid showed up, Hark, I was just like, oh, it's the original Leon. Oh, it's gonna be good.
I love that so much that Leon's inner confliction is manifested from what he was, plus the old god being in, and now that they're both
Yeah.
aware of each other, it's like, who's really gonna win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's. Okay,
He's
good.
not wrong. I mean, whatever your theories are about who that person actually is, he's not wrong in the sense that that's if he claims to be who he is, that is his body,
Yeah.
and he is a squatter. Leon's that we know is a squatter, so I think
I
it's
love-
justified.
Yeah. I also love how hard you played every single one of the other characters against Leon. Like,
Oh
just
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
Oh,
was the
yeah.
obvious one, but everyone else too. Like,
yeah, that was pretty fucking well done. Just to use.
Oh, I was waiting. I was waiting for that because every time any rift happened between Leon and any other character, I was like writing it down. All right, use this for the scene. Use this for the closet scene.
I really did like that, and it's good to have that inner turmoil, and I'm hoping, later on, when Leon's trying to get a good night's sleep, we get another, hey, I'm evicting you scene. So it'll be nice to see the development of a real inner demon, and whether Leon coexists with Leon, or if Leon fights Leon.
yeah.
I did love Leon's reaction to demonic Mr. Bun. Like it's changed color, it's got glowing red eyes, it's bleeding. I'll put it on a plate. Don't want the blood to get everywhere.
We'll deal with this later.
We'll address you later.
We'll address it later. No problem.
Oh, by the way, I love how it's really interesting. First off, it was really cool just to play Daretham like wrestling with his going or Themet Leon. And I will say it was seriously hard for him to say to Leon, "You are what you are now." He did not want to say it, but he knew he had to. So it was like you're not Arthemiel, but we gotta have a talk. And if you remember what happened, maybe I can get some closure. But if you fuck up again, that's on you. So yeah.
I am so happy that my dad got mentioned, and he's actually in the game. And because I was worried, yeah. Do I reveal the secret that I had? One of the things I sent you, to players and everyone.
Or you could wait to see if all of that's going to be revealed in the next session if you would decide to
yeah.
talk to your dad.
Oh yeah, right. You're right. Yep. Then I won't mention, but yeah, that was.
I would wait till next time and see if you talk to your dad.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I will. I will.
Was that a secret Tyrion didn't know, but you knew?
I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut for now. I'll reveal it next set.
Okay.
So what you're saying is new party NPC, right?
Right. Actually,
don't-
two new party NPCs with Bossbeck, maybe?
Ooh.
Here's the thing. Like, from the situation I saw, I think it's gonna be very hard to convince my dad, because he's tranquil, number one, and yes, we
Yeah.
could cure him because there's the tranquil stuff that happened in season 2, which the problem is, it's not a problem. It's more who's gonna cure him. I don't know. Like, we have Bossbeck, I know that, but and the other problem is more like, look, how am I gonna tell my dad that Amron was freaking a horrendous man to him, to us, and to our bloodline? I mean, though I could use Pyrus also.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, just want to say, Hark, I love how you tied in Daretham and Tyrion together through that convoluted timeline.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was very well done. So crazy and weird, but yeah, made sense.
I bought your great 5 million years later great grandfather.
Well, we did the math on that. I think I did the math on it along with Tom to help me out.
Tyrion the 40th.
Yeah,
Got it.
we did it was like
That's averaging a birth every 30 years from how far back it was.
That's
Yeah.
probably decent.
that was an average. That's a decent assumption from 1,200 years.
Oh, what were you
But-
gonna say, Sam?
I was going to draw the parallel between Tyrion and Daretham. Do you think someone has the right to kill themselves? And also, his dad is now tranquil. You could make the argument that he is not him anymore. Does he deserve the right to die?
Mhm.
Especially if he's still a Amryn fanboy.
Well, that's if like he's still stays stuck tranquil. I mean, season 2 found a way to break tranquility, if I'm correct.
It's gonna take time to get Tyrion's father to that. Plus, like
Yeah.
none of us as a party are really aware of that. No one
Yeah.
of the pen
Yeah.
Eve really brought
Prospect's there, so that's the only link we have to it.
Yeah.
because I believe it's locked up in a vault in Orzammar, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Does Tyrion plan on what does Tyrion plan on doing if the adventure is over and the Rousseau or whoever wants to destroy Pyrrhus?
You mean
he
Leon?
will-
Tyrion. Oh yeah, that's true.
Tyrion
Tyrion.
like
That's
destroys Pyrus.
I already know what Leon's gonna say. I don't know
will
what
be
Tyrion's gonna
honest.
say.
I think I said this to someone. I think I said this to Pasha. I will, or at least out of character, Tyrion would destroy him to give him peace. It's like you can now rest. You are no longer a tool to the Magisters. You're no longer a tool to Leon or anyone else. Go and rest. It's your time.
My question would be, what if he doesn't want peace? What if he's like, no, I don't want to die. I like my life as it is. You see me as a tool. I see me as a research assistant.
Yeah.
And I want to continue researching. Because it's the idea of Pyrrhus's freedom may not look like Tyrion's freedom.
Yeah.
And would Tyrion try to be like, no, my freedom is the correct one? Or will he be able to say, you know what, that's your freedom. You go live that freedom.
I mean, he would do that. He would give the option, like, if you want to live, sure, but I can't help you if you want to take that, because the problem is it's the other party members and the other people who want to burn Pyrrhus. Because the reason he's willing to at least say that, and he will try to persuade Pyrrhus. Not as Pyrrhus is what he is now, but what he was in the past at least. To say, look, you've done enough of a work. It's time for you to go to rest. As much as you probably want to live more, this is the only way. No one will agree with you, so at least go in peace. We will continue the bloodline at least. That much I can say. Will it help out? Don't know. But it's because there's no way Tyrion can like at least persuade Templars or the party to say let him live. I don't think he has that power. I mean, hell, he just lost that power probably when he murdered Amryn. So,
Which, by the way, I think it's really interesting that when Daretham said, "Do you think someone has the right to want to kill themselves and to do it?" Tyrion said yes, but then he said immediately after, and this is me just knowing also, if that was your mother, would you let her do it?
and I said no.
Yeah. It's like, listen, freedom is great and all until
It's your family. But and I think after this session with Amryn, he's conflicted. He's been shaken.
Do you think this will be the thing to actually start making Tyrion wake up and be more cognizant of a lot of the other options and stuff later on?
Yeah. No, yeah. Hell yeah. Because what he did was the problem of control of the total freedom. He still believes that, I mean, hell, he believes it would have been better if something else was done. But what happened is what happened. So I think he will have his eyes more opened, and it's why he might be willing to just go and try and, you know, find somebody to pay for his crimes.
yeah.
Which, for all it could end, the problem is, of course, right now he's one of Dragon Chalk Adar, so it will be pretty hard to have him go to trial right now, or like go to jail right now. But
Yeah.
it is possible in the epilogue. This is up to how Hark will probably set it up. It is possible that he might spend a time of his life in prison.
So, because I only got about 10-15 minutes before I gotta go, Hark, can you please tell us about the endgame stuff and just cut
Yes,
this?
the old magical endgame.
Yeah, so I'll
Yeah.
cut this out. So